Why do I have to do this? You're sitting comfortably. Maybe you're watching your favorite show. Maybe you're playing a game. Maybe you're finally winning a match online. And then you hear those words from somewhere in the house. Can you please come and help with the dishes? And suddenly, the mood is gone. You sigh. You roll your eyes. Maybe you say, "Why me?" Or, "I'll do it later." And somehow, later becomes tomorrow. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. Chores can feel annoying. Nobody wakes up excited thinking, "I can't wait to clean the bathroom today." Probably not. But chores are about much more than cleaning a room, washing dishes, taking out the trash, or folding laundry. They're actually teaching you something bigger. Responsibility. And responsibility is one of those things that becomes more important as you grow up. Think about it. When you're younger, adults do a lot for you. They prepare your food. They wash your clothes. They clean the house. They remind you about school. They make sure you have what you need. But as you grow, you start learning how to take care of yourself and how to contribute to the people around you. That's where chores come in. They're not just tasks. They're practice. Practice for life. Imagine a family where everyone comes home after a long day. One person cooked dinner. Someone else helped clean. Another person took care of the laundry. And then there's one person who walks into the kitchen, sees the mess, and says, "That's not my problem." How do you think the rest of the family feels? Probably frustrated. Because a home isn't just a place where you live. It's a place where people are supposed to help one another. And that's where respect comes in. Respect isn't only about saying please and thank you. It's also about recognizing that other people's time and effort matter. Think about your parents or caregivers. Maybe they come home from work tired. They've spent hours working, driving, studying, cooking, or taking care of other responsibilities. Then they come home and still have things to do. If you notice the dishes are piling up and decide to wash them without being asked, that's respect. If you see the trash is full and take it outside, that's respect. If your younger sibling needs help and you decide to help instead of saying, "That's not my job," that's respect too. You're basically saying, "I see what needs to be done and I care enough to help." And that is a powerful character trait. Now let's be honest. Sometimes you really are tired. Sometimes you've had a long day at school. Maybe you have homework. Maybe you've been practicing sports. Maybe you're dealing with something emotionally difficult. And that's okay. Being responsible doesn't mean pretending you're never tired. You can communicate. You can say, "I'm really tired right now. Can I finish this after I eat?" That's very different from simply ignoring the responsibility. There's maturity in knowing how to communicate instead of just complaining. Here's another thing chores teach you. You won't always feel like doing what needs to be done. And that's a huge lesson for life. Think about school. You won't always feel like studying, but you still have a test. Think about sports. You won't always feel like practicing, but improvement requires practice. Think about your future job. You won't always feel like doing every task, but responsibilities still have to be handled. Life doesn't always ask, "Do you feel like doing this?" Sometimes life simply says, "This needs to be done." Learning to do something even when you don't feel like it is part of growing up. That's called discipline. And discipline doesn't mean you're being punished. It means you're learning how to control your choices instead of letting your feelings control every decision. Let's take a simple example. Your room is messy. Your clothes are on the floor. Your shoes are everywhere. Your school bag is sitting in the middle of the room. And your parent says, "Please clean your room." You could complain. You could argue. You could say, "It's my room. Why do you care?" But think about what happens if you simply get up and do it. 10 minutes later, the room is clean. You can find your things. You feel better. And you've also learned something important. You can create order instead of waiting for someone else to do it for you. That's independence. And independence is something you'll need more and more as you get older. Now let's talk about respect from another angle. Sometimes we think respect means respecting people only when we agree with them. But real respect is tested when you don't agree. Maybe your parent asks you to put your phone away. You don't want to. Maybe your coach tells you to clean up after practice. You think someone else should do it. Maybe your teacher asks you to help organize something. You'd rather be doing something else. You can disagree respectfully. You can ask questions. You can explain how you feel. But you don't have to be rude. You don't have to shout. You don't have to roll your eyes. And you definitely don't have to insult someone just because they gave you a responsibility. That's emotional intelligence. Being able to manage your emotions while still communicating what you need. Here's something else I want you to think about. What kind of person do you want to become? Someone who only helps when they're forced to. Or someone who notices when people need help and steps up. Someone who says, "That's not my job." Or someone who says, "I can help with that." Those choices might seem small right now. But character is built through small choices. You don't suddenly become responsible at 18. You practice responsibility when you're 10. You practice it every time you put something away without being asked. Every time you finish a task. Every time you help someone. Every time you keep a promise. Every time you do what you said you would do. Those small moments are building the person you're becoming. And here's something really cool. When people know they can depend on you, they start trusting you with bigger things. Think about it. If you can't be trusted to take care of a simple responsibility at home, why would someone trust you with a bigger responsibility later? Trust grows. And chores can actually be one of the places where you begin building that trust. So the next time someone says, "Can you please help with the dishes?" instead of thinking, "Why do I have to do this?" try thinking, "How can I help?" That's a completely different mindset. You're not just washing plates. You're helping your family. You're practicing responsibility. You're showing respect. And you're becoming more independent. Now, I want you to think about a few things. When someone asks you to help at home, what's your first reaction? Do you complain before you even know what the task is? Do you usually wait until someone reminds you several times? Do you notice things that need to be done without being asked? And here's the biggest question. If everyone in your home acted exactly the way you do, would your home feel peaceful or stressful? Don't feel bad if you don't love your answer. This isn't about making you feel guilty. It's about helping you notice where you can grow. So here's your challenge for this week. I'm calling it the Don't Wait to Be Asked Challenge. For the next 7 days, choose one helpful thing to do at home every day without being asked. Maybe wash the dishes, take out the trash, clean your room, help with laundry, help your sibling, tidy up a shared space, or simply notice something that needs to be done and take care of it. And here's the important part. Don't announce it. Don't do it just so someone can praise you. Do it because you know it needs to be done. At the end of the week, think about how it felt. Did your family notice? Did you feel more responsible? Did you feel proud of yourself? Did your attitude change? Because sometimes growing up isn't about doing huge, impressive things. Sometimes it's about doing the little things well. So remember, chores aren't just about cleaning. They're about responsibility. They're about discipline. They're about independence. And they're about respecting the people you live with. You don't have to love every chore. You just have to understand why it matters. Because one day, nobody may be standing over you saying, "Clean this." You'll have to notice what needs to be done. And do it. That's part of becoming someone others can trust. Someone others can depend on. Someone who doesn't just ask, "What's in it for me?" but also asks, "How can I help?" And that kind of character, it matters far beyond your home. Thanks for spending these few minutes with me today. And don't forget your Don't Wait to Be Asked challenge. One helpful thing every day. No reminders. No complaining. Just responsibility. I'll see you in the next video.